Welcome to the video release notes for Genian NAC version 5032, new features and enhancements. Today we will cover in videos the ability to SSH directly to a sensor from the UI. We will demonstrate the new radius log filter enhancements. We will show you how to exempt MAC addresses directly from the node list menu from node creation. And we will also demonstrate the Windows Sensor plugin. As always, if you have any questions about any of these features, visit genians.com. There will be more information on these features and other features, as well as critical fixes. To demo the SSH to a sensor from the UI, we'll go ahead and click on System from the main UI. Here you will see the policy server with an integrated sensor and a standalone sensor in the UI under System. You'll see here that there's an SSH console icon. If you click on this icon, you'll be prompted to log in. From here, you have some options, including a logging option. So you could start a log and display a configuration, for example, or issue any other command. You can then stop the log, and you could download the log for viewing or saving. Once you're done, you can actually exit out. Close out the session, and you'll notice under logging the CLI access is also logged. So if we look under here, we have CLI Access Logs log filter created, and all of the access into the CLI is logged, including which user, whether they went into configuration mode, enable mode, etc., and actually right down to the command level, showing you what commands were issued. So a very good audit trail there. What you can do with this audit trail is you can also edit the log filter, and then based on any of this information, you can actually send notifications. So for example, you could actually send a notification through SMS or email or both. In addition to that, you can also send notifications out to a syslog server. You can send out SNMP traps, and you can also configure webhook for integration with external systems like Slack, ServiceNow, etc. So let's take a quick look at the enhanced radius logging options, which include radius log filters. From the main UI, click on Log. Here you'll find the main radius log down at the bottom here. If you click on that, you will see all of the different radius logging messages. So this is any type of radius event, start, stop, interim update, for all NASs, for all users, and for any event that has taken place that results in radius logging, wired, wireless, VPN, all users, all mixed in together. So this can be very difficult to navigate, sift through, etc. So by creating radius log filters, we can split this information up. So here's an example of a radius log filter. This is for all radius accounting from one particular NAS, stops, starts, interim updates. These packets are all strictly from that one NAS IP. Or here's another example. Maybe you're troubleshooting an issue and you only want to look at radius start packets. This log filter filters it down to only start packets. Another one that can be used as an example, VPN connection only. So if you click on this log filter, you'll see all the log entries are filtered by NAS port type equals virtual. So these are just all of the Radius accounting packets related to virtual logins or VPN logins. And one more example, we'll look at Radius wired connection logs. So these logs here represent only wired connections. So we've filtered out all wireless, VPN, etc. And all you see here are wired connections and the associated accounting information related to wired authentication through Radius. If you want to create a new filter, you can go down to the main Radius log here, and you can just click on the Add Filter. So for example, we could do a username based filter and just look for one particular username. So now you will only see Radius accounting, stop, start, interim update, whatever the case may be, for this one particular user. So you could actually save that, and now you have that information filtered for future. And in addition to that, you can take all sorts of actions, just like we covered in the previous feature. All sorts of notification options are available, including email, SMS, or both, as well as the syslog, SNMP trap, webhook, and you can actually have webhook notifications sent to something like Slack every time there's a Radius login. Additionally, you can assign a tag. So you could have a Radius event like someone logging in from VPN or a particular user logging in, and you can actually create a tag linkage. So you could assign a tag, trusted, threat, VPN connected device, for example, and you can save that. And once you save that, a tag will dynamically be assigned to that node, which can be used to limit access or other kinds of enforcement policies, or for reporting and grouping purposes. So again, these filters are very helpful and make the ability to review Radius logs and narrow down and search for specific use cases very easy and very manageable. For the MAC exception feature, which will prevent nodes from being created and thereby prevent any licenses from being utilized when a specific MAC address connects to the network, this used to be buried under a sensor setting and a few submenus, so we've made this much easier. Now you can just click on Management and Node. From there, you can decide what device you would like to make an exception for. Select that device and click on Tasks. And then under Node and Device, add Exception Handling MAC. Once you actually click on this, now you have an exception here. Click OK. So now that MAC address, when connected through that sensor, will actually not end up with a node creation and will also not end up taking up a license. In addition to just doing one, you could also do a range of devices just by holding up the Shift key, holding down the Shift key, and selecting a range. So this is very easy to use to select nodes. You could also sort this, for example, by platform type. If you had a particular platform type that you wanted to exempt, so let's say I wanted to exempt Linux. I've got those 3 Linux nodes there. I could come here and select the 3 nodes and then select the exempt feature to prevent those devices from having a node created and from taking up a license in your overall license count. We will demo the Windows Sensor plugin agent action by looking in the UI under Management and Node. Here you'll find the node list of all active nodes being managed by this policy server. All of the various sensors that are on the network reporting nodes back for all the different networks that are monitored show up here in the node list. You'll see here there is one node active in the 192.168.1 network. That is the Windows device I am on presently, and that is my home test network. You'll note that this device has an agent installed and running and will be using the Windows Sensor plugin on the agent to actually turn this Windows device into a sensor and detect other nodes active on the network. To enable this, we will head over to Policy, and under Node Policy, we will find the Windows Agent Sensor plugin policy, presently disabled. Inside of there, only my PC is part of this group. In other words, only my PC will be acting as a network sensor. To enable this policy, click on the policy, switch Disabled to Enabled. You'll see here that my PC matches on the qualifier. Typically, no additional configuration is required for this policy. No modifications are needed to the network sensor agent action. Click Update to enable the policy, and then we will click Apply to globally apply the changes. Now we'll head back over to the node list. You see here, now we have several other nodes on the 192.168.1 network. These nodes were detected by the sensor plugin on the agent running on my Windows machine, as there is no other sensor installed on this network. So you can use a Windows device to actually detect nodes on the network in remote locations or locations where you need temporary audit capabilities, or in locations where it's not feasible or cost effective to install a sensor for visibility.